Hi, it's Monica. How are y'all doing today? Hopefully, really, really awesome. So, I just wanted to come do another gardening video. Just got done working in the garden. Rain came, so I got completely rained out. Had to come back inside. But I am having some serious gardening issues. After the last video, I dug up all the plants just the way I said I was going to and replanted them, and things started doing better. But I am noticing that my bean plants are having issues. I don't know if I have mildew issues. It is literally raining every single day. Um, Today is the first day of summer, so happy summer. Doesn't feel like it around here. It got up into 79, or I'm sorry, 69, 70 today. Totally rainy, totally dreary, no sunshine. It's been raining every day, no sun. Considering I am using water soluble fertilizer, I haven't wanted to overwater the plants, so I hadn't been fertilizing them correctly. I can't wait to get this fertilizer that I can just put into the soil, rub in. I checked the weather. Gonna be raining through July. The next 2 weeks, pretty much rain almost every single day. It's wreaking havoc on the garden. It's nice to have water, but sometimes you can have too much. But I decided to go out and harvest as much as I could. Shabbat's coming up in a couple hours. I need to prepare food, be ready for that. So I wanted to get all my harvesting out of the way so I can get all that washed, clean, put away, whatever I'm going to get cooked, and whatever I'm going to get stored. But I wanted to come and show you all at least what I was able to harvest out of the garden today. It's nothing but greens because that's pretty much the only thing that is happening in the garden. But whatevs. It's pretty much all I planted too. So let's see what I've got as far as greens go. All right, so here we go. I've got my greens that I harvested just in cold water so that I can wash them off and, to preserve them while I was picking and harvesting the rest of the garden. On top here, I've got my, what they're called mustard tender greens. In the last video, I had showed a seed pack that were mustard spinach tender greens. And if I'm correct, these are not mustard spinach tender greens that I have in the garden. They're just called mustard tender greens. Now, I don't know if that's the truth or not. I'm not a professional at any of this. But as you guys can see, look, that leaf is like bigger than my hand. And that's just one leaf. So for the mustard tender leaves, just want you guys to kind of see them. Look how healthy that looks. This was the plant that was on the patio that I showed where I was like, oh, poor baby. It used to look so good. Now it looks bad. Well, I dug those up. I took one and I threw it away. And I just replanted one back in that pot. So there's just a single one in the pot. And this is what I harvested from that single one. So by making that switch from taking the two out of the pot, putting one and adding more soil, things are starting to look a little bit better. And I've decided that perhaps I need to harvest off of them more often. I think that maybe I'm not harvesting the leaves enough and I'm allowing them to go bad. So I'm going to start enjoying what I'm growing. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then over here you can see some smaller ones, 5. So I got 6, 7, and 8. So I was able to harvest 8 of those tender spinach green, or I'm sorry, not tender spinach greens, just tender mustard greens. So to have some greens that I grew from my garden that I can chop up and cook down or put in a pot, I'm happy about that. I think I'm gonna maybe cook those down. It might only be like a 1 serving once I cook them down, but to be able to have some greens that I grew myself out of my garden, that's awesome. So underneath, look what I've got going on here. Those are upside down. That's why they don't look so green. But can you guys guess what these are? Can you? Can you guess? Can you guess? It's kale. So I'm going to kind of put these to the side real quick and see if I can scooch my kale to the side so y'all can check out my kale leaves. Now, these are the smaller kale leaves that I harvested off. My bigger kale leaves are my newer leaves because the kale is really starting to do good now. But, like, here's one good size kale leaf. And look, it's pretty healthy. Look at that. No really browning, no yellowing. That is one good healthy kale leaf. So with these cool temperatures we've been having, actually with the cool rainy temperatures, I want to call them cruciferous vegetables. I think they're called brassicas. I don't know. I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm doing. They're doing pretty good. My broccoli that I was complaining about that I picked the head off, it's already starting to grow another head. Now this kale leaf, you can see this one here has some like browning and yellowing. So this is one of the original kale leaves that were on the plant when I transplanted it from taking the plants I was growing indoor from seed outside. So you can see what the plant was doing when I first got it in the ground compared to what it's doing now that it's been out there for some time. So yeah, I'm very proud to see my kale go from this to this. And I'm really excited to make myself a kale salad. I'm actually thinking maybe I'm going to do the tender greens and the kale together and cook them down and just have myself a pot of greens. But yeah, so there you go. Those are what I harvested as far as my greens go. And then, hold on, let me bring the bowl over here because I don't need you guys to see how messy my kitchen is. Because my kitchen's a hot mess. In this bowl, I just have some lettuce that I harvested, and I'm realizing that I have different kinds of lettuce in my garden, and some of it I really appreciate and some of it not so much so. I really like hardier kind of green lettuce. Like I love red leaf lettuce. So like if you look at this one, and I'm going to toss all this in here too. So let me just start putting it in there and I can show it to you in the water. So it's all glistening in the water. This has a hardier texture to it. And I have two different kinds of like almost red leaf lettuce. This one has is definitely more of a textured lettuce. I really enjoy this lettuce when I'm eating salads. I really like putting it on sandwiches. I'm going to make some hamburgers. So I think that that is going to be really good lettuce for hamburgers. But then I've got this like softer lettuce, which I'll show you here. And I don't know what kind this is, but you can see just how soft it is. When I'm harvesting it, it rips, it breaks. You see that rip? Like it does that very easily. It just gives way under salad dressings. It does not hold together very well. So the way I think of these lettuces are when you go to the store and you buy like a red leaf lettuce, like a head of lettuce, that's more like what this is, right? Like your romaines or your red leaf lettuce, which are, pick and come again lettuces, but they just take the whole head and sell it to you. Where this here is more like what you get in those spring mix salad mixes. And I have to be honest, I am not a fan of this. I have 2 of these in my garden and they grow pretty big, but I am not a fan. I would rather these types of lettuce. So for next year, like I said, Yah willing, I get it next year. I want to be a little bit more specific about the types of lettuce that I'm growing. But I didn't know anything this year. So I have tons of this lettuce that I was able to harvest today. This really, really soft lettuce that I'm not really a fan of. As you'll see, there's lots of it. The hardier lettuce, it started raining right as I started harvesting this. So I'll have more of that later on. I just got that one leaf, unfortunately. And the raindrops were really big. So when I say I harvested a lot of that soft lettuce, look at this. I had a whole bowl of just that weird soft lettuce. And then underneath that soft lettuce, you'll see there's like a red kind of colored lettuce that is very much like that other lettuce. It's got a red texture to it, but it's still soft, but not as soft as the other stuff. It doesn't give way as much underneath salad dressing, but still rather soft. I would consider that more like what you get in your salad mix, your spring mix salad mix. So let me get my last little leaf in here. And that is what I have that I harvested. Oops. That I harvested today. So that is one sink full of greens. So y'all, in that little space that I have outside, I can probably get a sink full of greens like this. I'd say maybe once a week is what I seem to be averaging now that it's starting to catch up. Now, would I be able to get these kind of greens this time of year if we were having the type of weather that we should be having? Probably not, because greens are generally spring and fall vegetables because they like the cooler weather. But since the weather's been so cool, my lettuces have been very prolific while my tomato and my peppers seem to be struggling. I don't know what's going on with my basil and my green beans. My peas look just fine. They seem to be pretty happy. I'll have to get you guys out there and show you what's going on in the garden, but just wanted to show you all these lovely greens I was able to harvest out of my garden. And there you go. All right, it's almost the Shabbat, so Shabbat Shalom to you all. Enjoy your day and grow some veggies of your own. Bye.